Welcome, good evening, listeners. My name is Christopher Lewis from LBM Studio, and we have a very special guest with us this afternoon, Miss Dawsher Charles of Survival Scholars, and she's here to tell us all about it, what motivated her, and what activities are planned, and what you can expect from her group in the near future. So, welcome, Dawsher.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis, for having me.
Sure, you're most welcome. So let's start. Tell me a little bit about Dawsher Charles and what led you to Survival Scholars.
I am Dawsher Charles, also known as the Resilient Warrior. I
Mhm.
am the founder and managing director of Survival Scholars. I am involved in many youth activities. I am on the board of numerous youth oriented organizations,
Yes,
and I have a passion for empowering young people with the skill of resilience.
that's very important because there's so much negativity around, so it's good to have champions of the positive
Yes,
around
definitely.
us for us to excel. So in terms of age groups, who are your core groups that you target in terms of young people? How do you define that?
The age groups stem from 8 years to 23 years, and we divide those groups whenever we have programs, more
Yes.
so due to their learning abilities and to capture the engagement and edutainment or fun, I would say. Each group
Mhm.
has a different appeal to what is fun to them, and we try to separate the age groups so that we could appeal to every single age category.
So give me an example. For example, the 8-year-old, what sort of activities would they be involved in?
Well, for the 8 to 12 years old, we use puppetry. But puppetry is also loved or liked by older children, but it's more so really fun and enjoyable for the younger children. Some of the older children might be like, puppets. We don't want to do puppets. But when we explain the importance of using puppets in terms of expressing, in terms of creative self-expression, then
Yes,
they understand. And using puppets with older age groups, you have to do it in a more comedian sort of way.
yes. So how do you tie in the puppetry with, let's say, I know you emphasize academic achievement as well. So
Yes.
how do you link the two?
So food puppetry, what we will do, for instance, so for younger children, some children, 8 to 12 years, they are transitioning into puberty. They are
Yes,
more being socialized with
yes,
friends. They put more emphasis or more focus on having friends, and they like games and, well, video games especially. And so what we do with the puppets, we create skits. For instance, one of the characters or one of the puppets would be playing plenty video games, and another friend who is more focused and setting goals and have a diary and stuff would be doing well in her schoolwork, and her other friend would be like, how come I'm not doing so well? His parents asking him, why don't you be more serious as your other friends? And so
right.
we create that, I like to say, real life social stories is what we use
Yes.
to relay
Okay.
information for children, actual things that happen with young children around that age, and how they
Yes.
relate it to bring
Yes.
across the message, to show the need for the balance between the video games, or
Yes.
the need for socialization with friends
Yes.
and their academic achievement.
Okay. And is this something that you do by yourself, or is there a team behind you that helps you to achieve
Yes,
the objectives?
yes, I do have a team with me. I have a chief technical officer helps with the development of our website and whatnot. And then I have an audio engineer with me who helps with the script writing and creating the
Yes.
vocals for the puppets, as well as
Yes.
even creating props for the
Yes.
puppetry. So yes, I do have a supportive team that helps in our
Very
creation.
good. As you mentioned, website. What's your website address?
My website is www.survivalscholars.com. And
Okay,
there you would
very.
find all our activities, the past events that we had, and different other services that we offer.
Are you also on social media?
Yes, we are. It's at Survival Scholars on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. And we also have the Survival Scholars Society, which
Yes.
is the support system for students. So now we have the support system for university students. And
Tell
we
me a
have,
bit about that.
yes, so the support system is where we provide that space for students to be able to cope mentally, emotionally,
Yes.
socially with their school life experience. And I created this more so from where um, I started off with Survivor Scholars, where in university, 2017, my second year, first semester was really difficult for me. I
Yes.
was really depressed and I was just experiencing a lot of low period in my life.
Okay.
And many of my classmates or the students around me, they would be like, they just want to do the degree, like complete their degree and get it
Yes.
over with to get their certificate. And
Yes.
so they didn't have no enjoyment in school or
Yes.
learning, which was very different for me because I loved going to school. I really enjoy going to school and just
Yes.
in many of my classmates saying that they just want to get that degree certificate and boss it as
Right.
it um
So they
that
weren't living while they were studying, in a sense.
yes, they weren't enjoying that experience of schooling.
Hmm.
So that led me to create a support group for students because I know that students have difficulties that they face in school itself and
Yes.
at home. For instance, transitioning into school, a new school environment, how difficult that could be, getting adjusted to the workload. Those are some challenges students face. Trying to socialize with others, trying to fit in sometimes. Those are
Mhm.
challenges that students face. Having that new culture shock, so that different experience of schooling, when you change schools, students face that struggle, and in addition to that they also face challenges at home, uh,
Yes.
where they have, well, for me, in my case, I had in my younger age in secondary school, I had to help my dad with his businesses and whatnot. And that was very difficult for me to use and to transition and manage my time properly in
Yes.
school. So, yes, I know that many students face many difficulties. And so the Survivor Scholar Support System was used to help students to maneuver through those difficulties and those struggles that they are facing, maintaining their mental health and well being
Hmm.
in order for them to do their best still in school.
So someone who would like to interact with survivor scholars or seek your assistance, is it mainly through the website? How do they reach you? What's the means of contacting survivor scholars? Basically, the website.
Yes, they can reach me through the website or they could even call me at 369-7522.
Let's
I
repeat the number.
sure 369
Yes.
7522.
Okay.
When they call, whether it's a student, a teacher, a parent,
Yes.
I listen to them and then I would make recommendation of a route that they could go into, whether it's one of our services or joining one of our programs for the audience.
Now, in terms of your reach, is it all of Trinidad and Tobago? Is it concentrated in a particular area? What has been the experience so far?
Well, the experience so far is that we are all over Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Um, we have done workshops um, throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We also are within the Caribbean as well, venturing out into the Caribbean.
Okay. Which
One of-
countries?
well, to be specific, Antigua and Barbuda. I
Okay.
have one of my advisors is actually there, and
Okay. Very good.
yes, and since we have students from university, we have students from St. Lucia and whatnot who bring survivor scholars back to their hometown to help.
Okay.
Yes, and my birth island, Grenada.
Okay, so you have regional branches, so to speak, there.
Yes, yes, and we want to develop them more and expand throughout the Caribbean.
So tell me, what sort of results have you achieved so far, and how do you measure success?
So I would say that we have received really, really great results thus far in terms of
Yes,
feedback from parents, students, teachers. We get really good feedback. We measure success, and we look at our success of the programs through the lens of our target audience. So
yes,
what we do is during our program, we try to gauge how students are learning, how they're maneuvering through the material that is being presented and shared with them. So we get
okay.
that continuous feedback from students. And
Mhm.
after our programs, we do uh, questionnaires and research
Yes,
to find out how much has the student taken away from our programs, and if they are implementing it through asking their parents if the parents are seeing any changes in their behaviors, is there improvement in what they're doing, and we
yes.
get excellent feedback, I must say, from parents. Even so, parents offer to pay us more from seeing the
Okay.
great results that they get.
So it's a sort of before and after analysis,
Yes.
right? Well,
Children.
how has COVID-19 impacted on what you do and your programs, the delivery of the programs?
Well, of course, we moved online, but
Yes,
I would say that has given us a greater reach and broader scope because
yes,
um, although we would have gone into any area in Trinidad and Tobago, it now makes it easier for us to reach our audience. Any
yes,
part of Trinidad and Tobago, the grassroots areas, or wherever in Trinidad and Tobago that our service is needed.
yes.
And so, just last Friday, we had a session with a school in Point Fortin.
Okay,
It was really easy to maneuver because didn't have to travel or anything
right.
like that to get to the location, and even sometimes traveling with the puppet house and all these different things could be bulky. So it was really, really good in terms of the online platform. It made our work easier in terms of reaching our audience. Yeah.
You mentioned fees a short while ago. How much does this cost roughly? I know it would depend, varying, depending on the circumstance, but if you can give our audience an idea.
Idea of the cost, it's
Cost,
for
yes,
us to, okay, well, some of our programs, we try to make our programs affordable for our target audience,
yes,
and it stems from sometimes $200 for a program with us in within like a few days.
yes,
And we try to get a good amount of students in our program. If it's a group session, we don't cross
correct,
15 students
yes,
because I believe in that individual attention, every student, and that is with two facilitators. So,
yes,
with two facilitators, it's max 15 students, and that is to
okay.
give that individualized, personalized experience to each child and to ensure that each child is being engaged in our programs and no one is left behind.
And that program would be a whole day, an hour. How is it
It would be two
structured?
hours,
Yes.
and more or less about 3 days or so. Yeah,
Okay. No,
depends.
seems very reasonable. Do
Yeah,
you collaborate with other NGOs, any other organizations to help deliver your programs? Do you have
yeah.
those kind of relationships?
Yes, we do actually. I'm very thankful. Honestly, I would say that we thrive more through partnerships and collaborations,
Yes.
more so because we get to feed into audience of our partners, and they get to feed into our audience, and
Okay.
there's strength in numbers, honestly, and it makes things better when you collaborate in terms of bringing a greater amount of persons for a vision, for a particular vision. We have partners from regionally. One of
Mhm.
our partners, Smart Team Limited, they have been with us from day one, like from early. and they have supported us in many of our programs. We have partners nationally. We have collaborated with NALIS and many other community organizations to execute some of our projects. One recent project being the Stories Over Statistics campaign.
What's
Uh,
that about? Tell us.
So the Stories of a Statistics campaign is about advocating for students' school story to be the main focus around exam results time. And
Hmm.
because around exam time, whether it's SCA, CSEC, or CAPE, the main question asked is what school you passed for, what grades you got, how many subjects you got, and they focus on statistics. But we want society to more now focus on student school story, their journey of their school experience, because that
Yes,
is where you get the meat of everything. You understand a student background, what they have overcome, what they have experienced, what they
yes,
struggle with. And now, when we share that more, when students share their school story more now, that will help feed into younger generations, as well
yes.
as students will be able to learn from the older generations how they overcame some of their challenges and struggles in life.
Do the students record those stories, or is it just in the sessions themselves?
So, for the Stories of a Statistics campaign, we actually did a campaign on social media where we had a petition where persons
Yes,
signed to say that they would now only be asking students about their school story as opposed to the statistics of the exam. And we also made a call to action of asking students, past students, present, to talk about their school story and share 3 life lessons they learned in school.
so in other words, we more than just numbers and results. We are
Yeah,
wholesome people, and we have stories
exactly.
to tell. So
Yeah.
I very much like your approach.
Thank
What's next for Dawsher and Survival Scholars in 2021? We are around the corner.
Yes, we're very close around the corner. I would say that 2020 was a really awesome year. I
Yes,
learned a lot and I'm growing. For 2021, I would
yes,
say that we have many great plans in terms of expanding our vision and what we're doing, bringing in some actual products to the
yes,
market, such as coping charts or study strategies,
yes,
digital products to help students execute and be better in their studies and their school journey. So
yes,
those are some items to look forward to from us in 2021, and
yes,
a better network expansion of the Survivor Scholars Society in more
yes.
universities, in secondary schools, primary schools. Yes.
Any closing comments you'd like to share?
I would like to say thank you very much to LVM Studio for inviting me today. Thank you to my team who helps me often in making the vision a reality. And I would like to say that no matter what a student is going through, no matter what struggles that they are facing, there is still hope. There is hope for them to be the best that they can be in their school journey and studies.
I couldn't agree more, and I would like to thank you not only for coming this afternoon, but for reaching out to me earlier and showing that level of interest in the LVM Studio project. And on
Thank,
that note, we say good evening to our audience, and thanks again, Dosha.
thank you so much.